Foiling adds such gorgeousness to any handmade card, and today I'm going to show you how this lovely holiday card came together. It features beautiful products from Gina K Designs, so to see that video, stick around. It's coming up next. I'm starting today with this set of products called Let Your Light Shine from Gina K. This is currently part of a kit, but as with all of Gina's kits, next month it will be available as standalone purchases. However, there is a polyglaze foiling sheet set that is separate, and I am going to use that today with the Let Your Light Shine stencil and dies. I won't be using the stamps today, but the fact that you can color in all your bulbs at once, I think that is brilliant. And of course, see, if you use the stamp, you blend on your bulbs. But I'm just going to use these sheets, cut them apart, and we're going to foil today. We're going to foil on multiple levels, actually. So I've got my fuse warmed up, and I have a little bit of the sterling fancy foil. This is one I really love, and I actually keep my foiling things in a Simon pocket like this. I also put the polyglaze sheets that are larger into those. It's really nice for organizing. And we're going to get foiling. I'm wiping off the surface of the polyglaze sheet with a little clean Swiffer and on the back of the foil as well, just to make sure there's no dust, because offices and studios and craft rooms, they get kind of dusty. And also, I have a little shim in here, the magic shim from Tailored Expressions. I just keep it inside my carrier sheet, but we're set to 4. We're running it through, and we're going to see what happens with the polyglaze magic. I'll let this cool for just a second before I peel and reveal. And now we're going to do it. It's always so fun to see how it comes out. And there you go. It's so pretty. Let your light shine. And that strand of lights, so good. I'm going to do the other one off camera because I have another greeting that I'm actually going to use and a few other pieces. Now I'm cutting this apart to do the ink blending just to keep it simple, but I'm pressing this down to a grip mat, lining up the stencil. It's so easy to do. And today I'm going to go with blues and greens for sort of a cool analogous color scheme, if you will. And small blending brushes are great for this because these are all, I mean, you could do them all one color, but I'm going to alternate starting out with a key lime ink, and I'm kind of going every third light. I think I lost count of the lights as I was going, but it really doesn't matter because it's going to look good even if you have 2 lights that are the same next to each other. But I did my best, skipped as I went. No fancy shading or blending, just adding that gorgeous key lime color as color number 1 with the stencil. Then you just switch your inks. So I'm bringing in Sea Glass, and this is going to be my lighter of 2 blues. I could have gone with purple because a lot of times when I'm doing analogous colors that sit next to each other on the color wheel, I like to jump to the next color. But I actually thought it would be really nice to have 2 blues on here. And so Turquoise Sea is my 3rd color. And I'm just going a little heavy-handed with the Turquoise Sea so that when they all dry back, you'll see 3 distinct colors. I love blues and greens for holiday cards. I mean, obviously green is a given and blue is a given, but together they're so pretty. And you throw in that silver foil, and it really is just a perfect match tonally, color-wise, and, well, shine-wise. And look at that. It's so quick, and they look so good. You've got all the shine and all the color. I love it. All right, now we're going to cut this out. So I've got the coordinating die, and that's something that I love. It's going to cut out the whole thing, all the strand. I am taping these into place, but here's the thing. If you have foil, just be mindful that you don't just slap a big piece of tape over the center, because sometimes if you have too much pressure, it's possible that it might hit the foil. I have my machine set to about -1 when I'm die cutting, and it's obviously on the die cut setting. But the polyglaze sheets, that's usually what I set it for. and this cuts so beautifully. And yes, I do have a relatively new cutting mat. I just replaced my cutting mat, so that's why it looks so clean. And that cut beautifully. Oh, so shiny, shiny goodness. All right, I'm going to cut some extra layers actually for each die cut that I'm doing today, and I'll cut these out real quickly off camera and cut some extra cardstock layers as well. And now it's time to glue pieces together, and I'm going to use my liquid glue along with the basting brush technique. I shared a reel recently where I learned this technique from other crafters on YouTube, but I have a basting brush that I cut the bristles down short. I'm picking up my liquid glue and just potching down little dots. Now, this works great on something where you want to get a detailed die cut covered easily, and let's say you have lots of things to do at once. This makes perfect sense. It doesn't make sense for everyone, but there is a slight difference when you do this because it puts a much thinner layer of the liquid adhesive onto your die cut, and so it's not going to have the same slip as if you were to put the little dots of glue using the bottle. And that's just something I've learned the more I have been doing the basting brush technique. Doesn't mean it's good or bad, it's just something to be aware of, that there's less wiggle room. And of course, if you're only doing one thing, you might not want to go to all the trouble. But the gray mats that I have here, this is Tim Holtz Media Grip Mat. Comes in a roll, you cut it down, you can use your paper trimmer, and I have several pieces that I use for a number of different messy techniques. The Connect glue dries right onto these sheets, and once it's dry, you can take an adhesive eraser or your fingers, rub it right off. Now off camera, I used Gina's Venetian blind plate and another polyglaze sheet. This is the Flurries sheet. It's one of my favorite designs. It's little dots and stars, and I used the same foil to create this beautiful background for the Venetian blind plate. So I will add this die cut cover plate right on top. I just trimmed the little polyglaze down just a little bit smaller than the plate itself. I'm gluing this on, and this is going to be what's holding all my elements together. So I'll let that adhere. And then I'm going to add foam tape to the back just to give it a nice pop up on my note card. And it's just going to give it such a pretty shine in the background. Ah, I love it. I have a sea glass note card prepared. This is actually a side fold. I just had a half sheet, and we're popping it up just like that. Now, for this design, I thought it would look cute to have the lights going just a little off in 3 different locations into that sea glass margin. Now here, I'm just going to dab on the glue. I'm not going to get the brush back out because I really want the blobbies so that I have that little bit of push and pull back and forth until I get it right where I want it. And I'm going to use my brick, just press down here and let that adhere. I'm going to be adding some foam squares to the Merry and Bright greeting because I want that to pop just a little bit above the strand of lights so that it can overlap them without running into them. And so here I just kind of figured out the best position for the foam squares, and I will add little dots of glue to them as well because the foam squares really do stick where you put them. So having that just a little bit of float time is really nice when you're popping your greeting on, especially at the end when you've put in all the work. You kind of want it to go where you want it to go. And here it took me a second to kind of say, is it there? And then I lifted it for a second. And that is why a little dab of glue on a foam square is a beautiful thing. But see how also the little swoop-de-doo in the T, the little cross, is also kind of jutting into the margin? Oh, makes me so happy. Love it. And there you go. Now, I decided not to use the bigger little stars because really just that single, it almost looks like the North Star. I thought that looked so good as a group right there. And so that's it. I'm popping that right into the center. And that finishes out the card. I love all that shine, and the foil is so beautiful. Let's do a quick design review to wrap up today's video. right, let's bring in our little rule of thirds guide here. And this is just something that I printed onto acetate. I always have a link in my YouTube description if you are interested in making one for yourself. It just creates 9 quadrants and shows us where things intersect and gives us a positioning guide, if you will, but I sort of do this intuitively. I never actually bring it out when I'm designing, but you certainly could. So here we have the greeting that is centered right here at this intersecting point. It is shifted off to one side. So over here in these 2 columns, we have a little bit of light, but mostly we have our greeting. And in this column here, we have some lights and then some more up here. The lights are really just kind of creating this little visual path that goes up the page. I call it a page. It's a card. It's just a designer thing, I think, in terms of pages. This is really an asymmetrical balance because what we have down here, we don't necessarily repeat because you can look from top to bottom, from side to side when determining balance. But one of the things that happens in enhancing the look and feel of your balance is you have a common margin width all the way around. You have this solid die cut background with equal little rows across that also provide this really solid base. Of course, we have our repetitions of blues and the background color. And then, of course, we have an awful lot of repetition of shine. And that finishes out the card project for today. You can find links to all of the products I used in today's video in the YouTube description box. If you're not a subscriber to my channel, I'd love to have you, so please hit that subscribe button and be sure to hit the notification bell so that you don't miss the next time I post. Here is another video you might be interested in checking out, and I will see you in that video. Thanks for watching and have a great day.